It's recording? Alright. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at some brand new Psyduck early gameplay. This happened like maybe 3 days ago. I'm a little bit late, but I've been dealing with some other stuff, but enough about me. So we are going to be looking over, Psyduck support gameplay. So Psyduck is a supporter that will be coming to the game later this year. I'm very excited about it. I know a lot of other people are. So we'll get straight into it and we'll just discuss his moves, descriptions, all that kind of stuff, and just general talking about Psyduck in general. So without further ado, we'll get into it, but this is from El Chico Eevee channel. I'll put the link in the description to the video. I'll put the link of this video in my description, but yeah, let's just get straight into it. So first we have the choice of either Confusion or Tail Whip, I believe. Yes. So Confusion or Tail Whip, choosing Confusion right at the beginning. Probably the more damaging move, you'd assume, right? Okay, so Confusion. 7-second cooldown. Okay, not too bad. Has the user release weak telekinetic force toward opposing Pokemon, dealing damage and leaving them unable to act. While the mysterious power is active, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is increased. So I do know this. So the mysterious power is when this little meter underneath his health is full, and that meter is increased when he is attacked by the opposing team, I believe. But we'll go into that more later. But having a stun this early is really, really good, actually. So how much go through? Alright, so it pierces as well. That's really good to know. I hope there's not a limit on that, because then you can just use Confusion and stun like 3 at once, which would be awesome. 232, that's actually a decent secure move as well. It's just better Gardevoir Confusion. Less damage, but stuns, which is amazing. Their basic seems, pretty standard. Doesn't have a boosted, but, does what it needs to do. So Confusion, using it right there. It does pierce. The damage remains the same as well. So that is a very, very good starting move. 7-second cooldowns is a little bit long. But again, you're a support, and you get your, of course, second move, Tail Whip at level 3. Wait for the description to pop up. He did just use it, but we're not too sure exactly what it did just yet. There we go. Alright, so 7-second cooldown, same as Confusion, so both have 7 seconds. Has the user wag its tail, dealing damage, applying a slowing effect, and decreasing the special defense of the designated opposing Pokemon. Okay, so it's a single target, sure hit, deals damage, slows them down, and decreases their special defense. So then you would do Tail Whip, then Confusion. So that way you can do the slowing effect, deal damage, lower their special defense, and then with Confusion you deal more damage. So running him something with another special attack would probably work well. But yeah, when it's focusing on Psyduck, his moves and all that kind of stuff. So again, 7-second cooldown on both Confusion and Tail Whip is honestly pretty good, I'll have to say. I might turn down the volume just a little bit if I can. Yeah, that should be good. Alright. So basics, pretty basic. It does have decent range as well, which is always nice. Yep, so 257, then it does 316. So it does decrease their special defense by a significant amount, which is pretty good. Alright, so let's see here. So straight to level 4 does not get his next move, but we saw that meter jumped up. And it's building ever so often. So when he is getting hit, that meter is going up. Oh, and when he hits. Okay, so when he hit with Confusion just there, you can see that stun is currently going incapacitated. Actually, how long does that stun go for? Let's go back a little bit. So Confusion, that stun, 1, 2. Alright, so 1.5 seconds. That's a very good stun that early, though. Alright, man, that was a lot that happened just then. Hold on. Alright, so that meter is still going up. And when it fully goes up, we saw it on the opposing team. Invincible. So while you're getting transforming into... So while you're being transformed into your mode or going into it, you're invincible for a short period of time, which is amazing, by the way. You do a lot more damage. I can't fully see it because it's hidden behind the potion, but your cooldowns are also halved. So instead of 7 seconds, it was 3.5 seconds for both Confusion and Tail Whip to come back. Again, just Confusion being a very good stun early as well. Just amazing. You know, decent damage, decent secure, both deal damage. Next up, we got the two options of Surf and Bubble Beam. Was it? Surf and Bubble Beam. So we got another Surf user for all those Surf lovers out there. Alright, so let's wait and see what Surf does. It seems like it has decent range. Let's see that description. Alright. Alright, so 7.6 second cooldown. That seems oddly specific. Has the user create a wave in the designated direction, dealing damage and applying a slowing effect to opposing Pokemon it hits. So it's kind of similar to Slowbros based on that description. Like you throw... Alright, let's just read the rest. If opposing Pokemon hit by this move already have a slowing effect applied, they are shoved. The user can ride the wave for a short time and use basic attacks and moves while moving. So it throws Surf and leaves you in a state where you have better movement speed and you can continue to use your basic attacks while you're moving. Okay. Ally Pokemon who touch the wave have their movement speed increased. Okay, so it's similar to like Leaf Storm then on Eldegoss. Like you throw it and if people either like hit by it or are next to it, their movement speed's increased. That's pretty cool. If this move is used again, the user stops in place and creates another wave. And then while Headache Power is active, the user will create 2 waves on the first one, I assume, but not the second. Okay. Let's see what Surf looks like then. Alright, so he goes into the state, he throws a wave, and you can see the little timer underneath right there, showing how long he can be in this little state for. So when you go into it, you throw it, and then when you exit out of it, you throw it again. So then, well, the first one, if the Pokemon is slowed, the second hit will push them. So if you hit them with the first, and then immediately go out of it, it will be like, what is it, like Blastoise Surf, where you can push them, which seems pretty good, as well as a stun. The basic attack damage is not that bad either for a supporter. Yeah, he doesn't have like unstoppable or hindrance resistance when he is in Surf though, so you don't want to be like going crazy. But the more you are hit, the more that meter is going to get up, which will then put you into this state, the Headache state, which is crazy good because it halves all of your cooldowns. You deal a lot more damage. Your moves just have this other secondary effect, which is crazy good. So then you throw 2 waves, which would 1 slow them down and then 2 stun them and push them straight away, which is really good. Seems very annoying to like push on lane with, which is very fun. Has decent movement as well, which is really fun. Alright, so he gets his first move at level 5 then, and then his second move at level 7, which is a first for the supporters, I think, outside of like Hooper, I think. No, even still. So this is the latest you get moves as a supporter. Well, I guess he is a bit more damage heavy and like a weird CC mon. That's odd. He looks pretty fun so far though. Just gotta wait and see until we get to the next move, because I don't want to fast forward in case we miss anything either. Yeah, so you use Surf, you get around a bit. I don't know if it increases your movement speed. I think it just puts you in a state. Okay, here we go. So, Disable or Psychic. Okay. Seems pretty self-explanatory. Disable will probably, like, disable, right? Stun for a little bit. Disable will, in fact, disable. That's the only thing for the description. So 6.7 seconds of cooldown. Pretty slow. But again, considering the whole benefit of, you know, Psyduck reducing its cooldowns by half when it's in its Headache form, or like a headache Zen mode or whatever, seems pretty good, I think. So alright, so we'll see what it does if he uses it. So Disable, what does it do? He went into Invincible as soon as he did it, so we can't see what it does just yet. I don't think we've seen the scoring animation just yet either. As they're chasing down the other side. So Disable, alright. What did that do exactly? So hit him with the other Surf. In the Headache mode, so you gotta remember the cooldowns are halved, so Surf is like a 4-second cooldown, which is crazy. So uses Disable, which is a sure hit. 728 damage. Didn't seem to stun them though. Oh, okay. We'll have to wait and see when it uses them again. So it hit the Dreadnought, but it didn't really seem to do anything outside of like a burst of damage, I suppose. Okay. It seems underwhelming to start, but we'll just have to wait and see, right? Like, maybe the plus version's, like, crazy good. Who knows? Duraludon. Got it. Yeah, so you can use, like, Disable and Surf to push quite a bit. He still has... He just got his Unite move. We're not too sure what it does just yet. Never mind, now we do. Has the user release 3 mysterious Psychic Waves around itself, decreasing the damage dealt by opposing Pokemon it hits. After using this move, the user's headache gauge greatly increases as a consequence of unleashing its full power. Alright, so when it uses its Unite move, that has a lot of range, by the way. Goodness gracious, look at that. So it's like Espeon's, but like crazy good. So it decreases the damage dealt by opposing Pokemon it hits. So like every time the wave hits, it decreases their attack more. Okay. I'll have to see that in action. Has a lot of range though. A lot of range. Oh, can we see the scoring animation? What's he doing? He's focusing real hard. And he throws it in while stepping, but like waddling. Very cute. Look at him waddle. Look at him stride. Look at that stride he has. But yeah, he did get his Unite move at level 9. So he's... Oh, okay, there's the Unite move. Let's head back and just watch out from the very beginning again. So... Uses it right there. He's unstoppable from the very beginning. That did... 309, so decent damage, but then it increased the second time, 770, then 740, then 770 again. Okay, and you can see his headache meter went absolutely crazy. He started with 0, and then he ran in, and it went all the way up, all the way to the top, but also he was getting hit by Mamoswine, so I don't know if, because you can use that Unite move to go into it, just so you can get your headache meter all the way full just to get those crazy cooldowns as well, which honestly sounds pretty good. I feel like it'd be pretty fun to stack with as well, just like a really oppressive tanky damage dealer, or like more CC wise, right? Like his movement speed is actually pretty good as well. Like look at him run around. So Disable, hit again. Alright, so it stunned them for a little bit actually. So I'll watch it again. Disable, hits, stuns, almost 900 damage, which is pretty dang good. So it stunned them. Of course, it's a bot, so they're just going to stand there because they're in the grass. What exactly does it do? Like, it does a little... That was 1,000 damage on Surf as well, which is pretty good. But again, I think the damage is altered for bots, so mostly just looking at it for what the moves themselves actually do. I do think Surf's going to be very fun to play, though. So, Disable. I'm still trying to understand exactly what it does. So, it does stun, but it doesn't really seem to do all too much else. Okay, so we got Surf Plus now. This I'm very curious to see. Using Surf. Alright, went into his mode while he was on Surf as well. So, he can go into that mode any given time, even if he's in the middle of a move, which is pretty good to know. Okay. Making his way to bot. Look at him surfing around. Disable does decent damage, I suppose, and it is a sure hit that stuns. Like, I just don't know what to make of it just yet. Level 12, so he gets his fully upgraded move at level 13 as well for Disable. I haven't been able to see, but you can use Disable while you are on Surf right there, as you could see. So he's on Surf, and he's able to use all of his moves while he's in it. And I think that's the first time we did it as well, so that's very good confirmation on that. So Disable, again, like, just decent damage. I guess you'd run, like, Choice with it, maybe, Choice specs, for some little burst damage, but that's if you're going more aggressive. Here we go. Okay. So, all the same, upgrade. Decrease the damage dealt by opposing Pokemon that hit by this move. Okay, so it's very much like a Disable kind of build, right? Disable and Hindrance. which seems pretty decent. Just decrease the damage dealt by opposing Pokemon that are hit by the move. And the cooldown has been reduced a little bit as well. Whoa, what the heck? Coming in with stuff. Oh, they are low from the opposing Pikachu. But still, 1,000 damage on one wave of that. It's pretty good. Psyduck does decent damage, it seems. But again, you know, this is all before the release. And, like, it's all leaked and stuff. So, always take this off with a grain of salt. Okay, now we actually have the full description of Disable. Okay. Has the user release electricity that limits designated opposing Pokemon's moves while dealing damage and leaving them unable to act. The electricity spreads to nearby Pokemon 5 times. The electricity can only spread to the same Pokemon up to 2 times. Opposing Pokemon hit by the electricity will have the cooldown of their last move be increased. Okay. So let's say if you're like fighting, I don't know, just any Pokemon at all, and then all of a sudden your cooldown of that is increased. I wonder if that can exceed that kind of idea. You kind of know what I mean? Like if something has like a max of 7 seconds, but then immediately disable, will that cooldown be increased to like 9 seconds or something? That sounds really funny and just extraordinarily mean. Like... Alright, moving on with the description. If an opposing Pokemon has no move on cooldown, the cooldown of the next move it uses will be increased. Okay, so this is a real disable, right? This seems really mean, actually. When an effect to increase a move's cooldown is applied, a slowing effect is also applied. When the mysterious power is active, the number of times the electricity spreads will increase. Increase the duration that opposing Pokemon are left unable to act. Okay, so it does stun them a little bit, and the increase, the plus version, just increases the stun duration. But wow, yeah, from a surface level, it looked like it was doing nothing, but increasing the cooldown of an opposing Pokemon's moves seems like it could be very good in a competitive setting, right? Because like if you're up against a Pokemon that's very, you know, skill heavy, like a Delphox, can you imagine just trying to shut them down by like, you know, using this disable and making it so they can't use Mystical Fire for a little bit longer, or their Fire Spin or something? Like, depending on how big of a cooldown increase this gives, this could be insane. But yeah, cooldown of 6 seconds when it's in the plus version as well at this. So passively you get cooldown reduction, which is very good. Being able to use it when you're surfing as well, very good movement. So Volt Tackle, but then hit with Disable, and then Volt Tackle will have an increased cooldown next time. Use Unite move, get Invincible. Disable, it can't use its... Dang. Alright. The amount of damage from Surfs does seem surprising, but again, it's all leaked footage, so take all this with a grain of salt. Okay. So we just got cut straight through, because that was all the demonstration of that. So now we have Bubble Beam and Tail Whip. So Bubble Beam, I have no idea what it does. So that was Tail Whip. Bubble Beam. Okay, right there. We don't have a description of it just yet, but we can kind of try and piece together exactly what it does. So very similar to Lapras, it is a beam move where it's in that certain range. We don't know what it does on hit just yet, but when Torchic died, there was a bunch of bubbles around where it fell. So I'm assuming that has to do something with Bubble Beam. Right there, see? So we'll just have to wait and see when we get the description for it. Alright, so Bubble Beam. Hits 580, bubbles around it. It seemed like it got stunned for a second, but I really just want to read the description if possible. Get some points in. Level 6. Okay. Bubble Beam. Cooldown 7 seconds. Pretty standard for him right now. Has the user forcefully eject a spray of bubbles, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it hits and attaching 3 bubbles. When allied Pokemon deal damage to opposing Pokemon that have bubbles attached, a bubble bursts, dealing damage and applying a slowing effect. Okay, so it's probably not as good as Surf, just based on the description, but it seems like it's good for just dealing an extra bit of damage, I suppose, but Surf already does a lot of damage and just makes so you have a lot more movement and can get out of situations easier. But Bubble Beam seems like it could be fun. But those bubbles seem to remain. So, see it use again. Alright, so how much damage is those increased burst bubbles? So 232. It's a little bit hard to tell, actually. So, the damage isn't too bad. So 402, 402, 230. Okay, so it actually deals a little bit of an increased bit of damage, but I mean, that's exactly what it said. So 3 bubbles, 3 additional little procs of damage, which seems alright, but I think I'd probably just go with Surf, right? But we'll have to wait and see what the second move is to see if that would be better than Disable or not. Alright, so next we got Psychic, presumably. So Psychic is, alright, like a 9.5 second cooldown. So this could be very impactful. Has the user release a strong telekinetic force in the designated area, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon that hits. The user continues to release a telekinetic force at the opposing Pokemon that took damage. While closest to the center of the area of effect, if the move is used again, the user pulls the opposing Pokemon, receiving the telekinetic force in the designated direction. While the mysterious power is activated, the user leaves the opposing Pokemon unable to act after pulling them. So, I need to see this in action. Okay, so, used Psychic straight away. You can see that it had crazy range all around it. So it seems like it's very similar to Power Split or whatever it is, Pain Split Trevenant. So you establish the connection, you put it down, someone gets hit by it, you establish the connection, and if they go beyond that little range, I'm assuming it would break. So, how exactly did that work? So Psychic, okay, got it. So use Psychic, well, we'll go over this again. I'm just trying to understand exactly what it was before I were to say anything. So use Psychic, and then when you try and use it again, you can see that you can control where they dash. So if you throw that in, you can force someone to dash backwards towards your team just to get rid of them or push them anywhere you really want to. And then they have to move to that designated location. Okay. That didn't seem too bad, I suppose. I think maybe, like, okay. Alright, well, he missed that time. But I do think Disable might be more useful, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, wait until you use it into a match. It does seem very mean and very fun to use. Of course, it won't work on something like Dreadnought, but it's very similar to Future Sight, I suppose, where you put it down, takes a little while, shows you where it is, and then the burst of damage happens. We'll move forward just a little bit, as it's just trying to get rid of Dreadnought. Okay. So we'll see it again. Psychic. Alright, it's in this form now. So it uses Psychic. It hits both of them. So do both get the ability to dash? No, Blissey used Unstoppable, so I guess it just absolutely disrupted them. That would have been a very good showcase, though. So Psychic, and then move that way. Okay. Alright, that seems very mean, actually. It's like Jigglypuff's ability, but you just tell them to go in a certain direction when you hit it, which seems very mean. Of course, we've already seen the Unite move, so we'll skip forward just a little bit more. See if we can get any more on maybe... Alright, yeah, there's the Unite move. 1, 2, 3. Deals a lot of damage. Basics deal a decent amount of damage as well. But yeah, but that's Psychic. I don't know if we were able to see how much damage it fully did, actually. 1,184, and then of course you can tell them to go into a certain direction. Bubbles. So this seems like you'd be a very good, I suppose, carry build, if that makes sense, like more of a damage dealing focus, as opposed to like a support. Like it feels more like a Mr. Mime or Wigglytuff kind of support, because he has 0 healing in his whole kit, but he's very good at disrupting and kind of like, you know, just annoying the opposing team, so it seems. Move forward a little bit more. Hello, Blissey. Those who are there, we'll see how he does on this. So, of course, Bubble Beam deals decent damage. Psychic. And it can hit multiple people, though. So, that's just... that's Bubble Beam. Alright. Oh, but it was the plus Bubble Beam. Hold on, let's read that. Silly me. Leaves the opposing Pokemon unable to act when all bubbles attached to it have burst. Oh, okay, so then when all 3 have burst, it'll stun them for a little bit. Okay, alright. Curious to see how that works. I mean, he just died straight away, so we didn't see how long that stun was, but get that at level 11. He does seem like he's a very, like, attack and, like, disable, like, heavy supporter, though, which is always fun to have. We've already seen Bubble Beam. So Bubble Beam has no limit on how many people it can hit. So 1, 2, 3. So that's stun on... Okay, so the stun's roughly for like a second, which is pretty good. And let's say you hit Bubble Beam on the entire team, right? That could be a team-wide stun, which would be pretty fun. But again, you would probably just do Surf, because Surf can, 1, slow down the whole team, as well as, like, shove them. But again, Bubble Beam seems fun, but I'd probably just go Surf instead so far. I want to see what the upgraded Psychic is. Just using his Unite move, I suppose, just for the sake of it, so you get to see it again. Let's wait and see what the upgraded Psychic does. Alright, so that did just hit 1, but yeah, everything that we already know about it so far. Alright, we'll see if we can get Psychic again, and maybe hit more than just 1 this time. Yeah, but right there, you could use it and then, like, tell them to keep running towards the opposing team instead of retreating, which could be very mean and very fun to use. Yeah, but you can't... It doesn't fully work on opposing Pokemon. Deals the damage, but you can't tell them to run in a certain direction. Yeah, but look how fast he seems. Okay, here we go. Upgrade decreases the special defense of opposing Pokemon hit by the telekinetic force. Okay, well that's pretty generic. So it decreases their special attack. That was a lot of damage, actually. Goodness gracious, that was so much burst damage. But again, they're bots. It's a test, so not even test server. It's just leaked footage of it, and it doesn't even have like the official icons for it. So take all this with a grain of salt and the amount of damage it's doing and cooldowns and all that kind of stuff, because all this is going to change when it does come out. It's just fun to see what they can do and what these moves' ideas are. Yeah. So Psychic, just tell them to go straight back. Really fun. I am very curious to know if it can hit and you can command more than 1 of the opposing team to go at a time. That's something I'm very curious on. Because, like, let's say they're all on a goal. You can use Psychic and then tell them all to, like, step outside the goal for a little bit, which would be very, very fun. But, yeah, that was the entirety of the... No, we're not going to do Darkrai just yet. Darkrai is probably going to be the next one that we're going to do, or Armoroge. But, yeah, that's the whole video. We'll quickly just go over... Again, let's head back to the Psyduck video right now. But yeah, that's the whole video of a Psyduck. Those are my initial thoughts, first impressions, whatever you want to say. That's going to be all from this video. Again, the link to this original video from El Chico Eevee is going to be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about what you think about Psyduck in the comments below, and I will see all of you next time. Always remember, stay hydrated. See you guys later.